Tonight on The Real Hustle, Alex, Paul and Jess carry out some of their most audacious scams yet. Surrounded by hustlers, this lad needs help.
Dad! Get down here!
Alex offers tourists a great exchange rate.
£500 for €200.
And Paul checks out of this hotel with more than just his luggage.
The car's been taking me about 15 minutes to go.
This is The Real Hustle. We're going to uncover the secrets behind the most popular scams being carried out by con artists today. The real hustlers are Alex, the confidence trickster, Jess, the sexy swindler, and Paul, the scam artist. They've been travelling the UK and hustling in holiday destinations, demonstrating to our hidden cameras exactly how the cons work. All the people in this show have been hustled for real, and after being given their money back, they agree that the footage could be shown so you can avoid being ripped off by the same scams.
This scam is a modern classic and can also be one of the most dangerous con games in the business.
Brucey was wrong. Points don't always mean prizes. Points on your licence can mean increased insurance premiums. And worse still, if you drive for a living, points can cost you your job. This is the flop. A narrow one-way street in a quiet residential area. Perfect for the trap the hustlers are about to set. At the far end of the street, Paul is pulled over, waiting for a signal. 100 yards behind, Alex and Jess are concealed in a small side street, watching for a potential mark. White van. Bingo. As it passes his position,
Paul, white van coming your way, get into position.
Alex signals Paul.
All right, pulling out now.
Who blocks the road, stopping the van.
Mate, I got a problem with my gears, so they're stuck in reverse.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, just give me a second though, yeah?
Alex and Jess bring up the rear, trapping the mark in a pincer movement. They position themselves in the van's blind spot.
Yeah, just give me a second.
While Paul keeps the mark talking, Jess gets into place.
If you just pull back about 10 feet. Yeah, if you go back as well, mate. Just go back as far as you can, yeah?
Paul distracts the mark, allowing Alex to signal Jess.
Did you see what you've done there?
Oh, are you alright? You okay?
Mate, you said a girl.
Hi! Get out of the car! Right. Christ, let me see.
Do you not hear me? She was like walking behind your van.
What do you mean?
What do you mean, what you mean? You just reversed, you didn't look round, you just hit this girl. She's just walking behind you.
I see you behind me. Sorry, you alright?
No!
God's sake, man.
I didn't see her at all.
What is in there?
It's my laptop.
You alright? Do you feel like, are you alright? Do you want us to get you a doctor or something? You alright? Just sit there for a sec.
You alright?
Yeah. I'm so sorry, I didn't see you. Just sit down here, you alright? It's a bit shaken.
The van driver's shaken too, and he's trying to call his dad, who's nearby.
You're gonna have to pay for the laptop now, you've just broken it.
To keep the mark confused, Paul and Alex take sides.
It was an accident, though. Do you live here, mate?
No, I don't. I'm just delivering. I'm delivering something here. I didn't even see her there.
Oh, calm down. All right, you stay there. Could you look after her for a minute? Listen, could you look after her? It's all right. Look,
You've broken a laptop, so you don't... just like walk off?
I'm not going to walk off. I just don't know.
Well, you're not helping the situation any, mate. All right, could you just calm down?
I'm going to get my dad down here. He was up the road just a minute ago. He might have some money.
Have you got any cash?
No.
Because you were backing up on a one-way road, which is... I know I asked you to, but you know what I mean.
I haven't got any tissues here for you, love.
You better do something, because either we call the police or...
What? I don't know what to do.
What would you...
I need you to pay for my laptop because I've only just bought it and now you've bloody gone and broken.
Jess has turned on the waterworks and Paul and Alex keep applying the pressure.
Give her some cash and get rid of it. None at all?
No.
Do you want... What if you go to an ATM or something like that?
No, I haven't got my card on me, I haven't got nothing.
You must have some cash.
Let him think. Would you let him think, though, please?
The Mark spots his dad.
Dad! Yeah, like... Get down here!
You all right? You all right?
Well, yeah, I'm his dad. I'm just...
Yeah, I asked him to back up a little bit and he hit this girl.
Just crossing the road, he just hit her, the laptop went underneath the wheel. She's like, look at that. Do you know what I mean? I think we should call the police.
Well, he couldn't see her, mate, okay? Yeah, I was standing right there and he couldn't see her.
Yeah, but you're not supposed to bloody reverse on her like this, though, are you?
I'm really worried because this girl's getting really upset and she's got a little craze.
All she wants is
if you just give her some money for a laptop, we can all go.
Then yeah, we'll see what we can do.
The hustlers have finally broken the Mark. And in fact, he does have cash in the
Do you want
van.
me to give you the money for the laptop?
Yeah, I bloody do.
Well, you're doing the right thing, at least. Do you know what I mean?
That's £200 cash. And before leaving, Alex offers the Mark some friendly advice.
Next time, look where you're going when you're reversing, Ali.
Once I was reversing down a one-way street, which I shouldn't have been doing anyways, but trying to get out of the way, and someone walked out behind me and fell over, grazed her heads, broke her laptop.
I need you to pay for my laptop because I've only just bought it and now you've bloody gone and broken it.
You must have some cash.
Would you let him think, though, please?
Dad! Get down here! And then she was asking for money for her laptop or something. Yeah, it made sense to give 200 quid to her, yeah. That would be fair. Saves me getting points on my licence, I suppose.
Always be suspicious when someone tries to get you to hand over cash in a situation like this. At the end of the day, it's much better to call the police and get the insurance companies involved, even if you think you're in the wrong. Because if you don't, you might compromise yourself in such a way that they could take you for even more money.
When you're away on holiday, you tend to lower your guard and you make yourself more susceptible to being scammed. Now, con men know this, and that's why they love targeting tourists.
Alex, Jess and Paul are hitting Ibiza for a spot of sun, sea and scamming. They're carrying out some of the most common holiday hustles, so if you go abroad, you'll know just what to look out for. This is the exchange rate rip-off. Ibiza Old Town, a great place to relax and let the world go by. But in this plaza, a hustle is about to go down. Alex is here selling tickets for a fictitious tour company. And lying in wait at a pavement cafe is Paul. They're working as a team, but to pull off this scam, it's vital no one realises they know each other.
Oh, gracias.
It's Alex's job to rope in some marks.
I want a tour.
This couple look promising.
Tour of the island, or you can have a map for €2.
Yeah, you can have a map.
Two? Yeah, I get you this map here.
And that's Paul's cue to get involved. He's the shill, a hustler pretending to be an ordinary punter.
Excuse me, can I get one of those?
Yes. Here. You're English.
A map for €2? Nothing wrong with that. But Alex has another proposition to offer Paul.
I have a question for you. There you go, my friend. I have pound. You're English, yeah? Yeah. I have a lot of pound here. It's £500, but I need change. I have £500 for €200.
For €200?
Yes, look, it's £500. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Exchange rate.
Yeah.
It's an amazing exchange rate.
300.
£500 is actually worth over €700, and Alex is offering it to them for just 200.
Is it real money?
Yes, of course, real money, my friend. What do you think?
Alex counts the notes out in front of them, and everything seems legit.
How much you want?
€200.
Paul appears interested, but hasn't got the full amount.
I've got 100. You guys want to split? What do you think?
Yeah, we'll do that. Yeah.
With Paul offering to go halves on the deal, the Mark thinks it's a safe bet and agrees to split the cost. But Alex is cautious about handing over the cash in full view.
Take your hat off. I can't hand you money in the street.
What?
Take your hat off. I can't put money in the street in your hand. If anybody watching, put it in there.
Alex puts the £500 in Paul's hat, and both Paul and the Mark hand over €100 to Alex.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah?
All right.
All right. I've got a coffee over here. How you doing? Where are you from?
Yeah. From Redditch.
While they make their way to the cafe to split the £500, Alex melts away into the back streets of Ibiza town.
It's different.
Yeah?
It's different. It's different.
It's very different.
All right.
It's an unusual exchange rate.
So what is that, 250 each?
Yeah.
I'll even get the coffees in.
But as the Mark counts out the money, he realises things have not gone according to plan.
Do a little work.
Slight problem there, Rob. That one's fake. And those are empty.
The £500 has somehow transformed into one colour photocopied note and a pile of useless paper.
Oh, God.
The Marks are gutted, and keeping in character, Paul doesn't appear too happy either.
I feel like such an idiot. I just saw the money and thought, go for it.
Yeah.
Dear.
That's a couple of days' money, isn't it?
To prevent any police involvement and the risk of being implicated, Paul gives the Mark a word of warning.
You know what? I'd call the police, but they won't do anything about it.
Really?
Yeah. And the people that work these gangs are so nasty. You know, they don't get away with it. Sometimes they just mug you straight out. I really don't know what to say. Yeah. I would just write it off.
It's not worth the hassle, is it?
You can't believe it when you hear about it all the time and then you fall for one yourself.
Yeah.
400.
But the Marks saw the real money counted out in front of them. So where did it go?
Take your hat off. I can't put money in the street in your hand. If anybody.
This was crucial. When Paul took his hat off, he angled it slightly away from the Marks, and Alex only pretended to put the money in the hat. Really, he kept hold of it and put it back in his bag. It all happened so fast the Marks didn't spot a thing. So where did the money in the hat come from? It was there all the time. Paul concealed a wad of bogus notes in his hat before Alex even arrived in the plaza. The Marks never stood a chance.
The notes I saw looked real. And then he passed this lot. A lovely fake there, and then you've got a load of blanks here. And I'm pretty certain that one's a real one. So for 20 quid, he's walked over, what, 70?
140 odd quid.
I think it's taking advantage of the relaxed attitude.
Yeah. Yeah, at home, no way.
At home, I wouldn't entertain it.
No, not at all.
Not at all.
Yeah.
Not at all.
We first heard about this scam during a trip to Spain last year, and it uses some very clever psychology. There are three parts to the scam. First of all, you're offered an amazing bargain, and that activates the greed factor. Second, someone else seems to be involved in the deal, and that helps to rope the Mark in. In other words, it convinces them to go the extra distance and hand over their money. But the really clever part happens in the third phase of the scam. This is when we cool out the Mark. And cooling them out means making them walk away without calling the police. You know what? I'd call the police, but they won't do anything about it.
Really?
Yeah. And the people that work these gangs are so nasty. You know, they don't get away with it. Sometimes they just mug you straight out. I would just write it off. This story helps to wrap up the entire scam, and that's what makes it particularly clever.
More real hustles still to come. At Jess's Fun Fair,
Hello, boys.
size is everything.
I think it would have been worth it if it was a bigger prize.
And Paul checks out of this hotel with more than just his luggage.
The car's been taken here about 15 minutes ago.
The real hustlers are going to show you how to win some free drinks off your mates by using proposition bets on some unsuspecting customers in this bar. The proposition bet suckers you in, as it's a bet on an event or outcome that you believe can only go one way. And it always does go one way, the hustler's way. So watch and learn.
So, this is a good proposition bet. If you can do it, I'll buy you all around drinks. If you can't do this, you buy me around drinks. Okay, so look, there's this brandy, the brandy glass. You have to drink the brandy, but you have to drink it out of the sherry glass. Now, I know you're going to go, oh, I'm going to pour it in. No, no. Because look, I'm going to put the sherry glass like this into the brandy glass. Now, you can touch the brandy glass, but you cannot touch the sherry glass with your hands. Okay? And you have to drink that brandy from inside the sherry glass.
So what they have to do is drink the brandy out of the small glass, but they're not allowed to touch it with their hands.
Any ideas? Obviously, I'm not going to use anything else. I'm not going to pull a straw out or anything.
You're not allowed to touch that, yeah?
Not allowed to touch that with your hands, no.
That's impossible.
Impossible, I hear you say.
Hold it. I was thinking of just tipping it with my nose.
Tipping it with your nose, okay.
I don't know. It still doesn't get me anywhere.
No, that's the problem.
I don't know.
You don't know?
I really don't know.
Are you ready to buy a nice, expensive round of drinks?
Okay, go on then.
Ready?
Go on, show. This is going to really annoy me.
Not touching with my hand.
Oh my god. That's so simple. How do you drink it? Oh no way.
Cheers.
So what Alex did was pick the small glass up with his teeth, pour the brandy in, stand the little glass on the big glass, and bottoms up.
Oh, that was good. I'll have one more of these, please. Thank you.
This is a simple version of a scam that's been around for decades. The only sure thing is that the punters are going to be hung out to dry.
The hustlers are taking some time out and enjoying all the fun of the fair. Like other holiday makers, they're spending their money and hoping to win a prize. But the odds of winning a cuddly toy are greatly reduced when the hustlers are manning the stalls. This is Peg a Prize.
Hook a peg and win a prize. You're guaranteed to win a prize. Hello, boys. Want to give that a go? Okay, all you have to do is hook a peg. All the pegs with 2 numbers on are all the big prizes at the very top, and all the other pegs with 3 numbers on are all the small prizes at the bottom. And all you have to do is hook 1 peg. And it's £2 for 3 hoops.
So, each peg has a number written on it. If it's a 3-digit number, you win a small prize. And if it's a 2-digit number, you win a large prize. It sounds simple, but it's harder than it looks. Nobody's hooped any pegs. Jess is raking in the cash without having to give away any of her stock. But then, the punters hit a winning streak.
Oh, well done! Oh,
Many fairground games guarantee a prize, but it's the size of the prize that matters.
But you actually got a 3 number, which is still good because you get one of the smaller prizes at the very bottom.
And the smaller the prize, the bigger the stallholder's profit margin.
There you go. Put that one in your other pocket.
I'm an England fan, so
Bye. See ya.
I think it would have been worth it if it was a bigger prize. If we won a bigger prize, it would have been, yeah, it would have justified the £4 that I spent.
But of course he can't win a big prize. The game's rigged. All the pegs have 3 numbers.
Oh, close.
But sometimes...
Oh, well done on the last go. And
you do get lucky.
that one was a 2 number 1, so you actually won one of the bigger ones. So is that the one that you're wanting? Yes. That big cuddly one? Well done.
Aren't you proud?
Well done. Oh, it's so squashy as well. There you go. If anybody asks you where you got it, send them over to the Peg a Prize stand. Well done, you. See ya.
Yeah, we've got 2 numbers and nothing else from anything from the top shelf.
Oh, she said make sure you carry it around so everyone can see it.
Yeah.
So that, and if anyone asks, tell them where you got it from.
That's pretty much it.
Yeah, good marketing.
And that's all it was, marketing, because she wanted the couple to win.
Oh, well done on the last go.
All she had to do was cover one of the digits with her finger.
That one was a 2 number 1, so you actually won one of the bigger ones. So is that the one that you're wanting?
And it looked like they had a winning 2-digit number.
Well done.
Aren't you proud?
I'm very proud. Most fairgrounds are fairly run and you do have a chance of winning. But you should bear in mind that you are paying for the entertainment of playing the game as well as for winning the prizes.
It's usually considered rude to eavesdrop on other people's conversations, but it can prove to be rather profitable.
This is the Valet steal. A smart boutique hotel in Manchester must be a good place for a hustler to find some rich pickings. And Paul's here to try his luck. He loiters outside, keeping an eye on the guests checking in to see if they have anything worth lifting. It doesn't take long for something to catch his eye, a pricey-looking sports car. But how's he going to get his hands on it? Watch closely. Not suspecting that they're being watched, the Marks go to check in. Inside, we've rigged hidden cameras to follow the action. And while the hotel staff are busy with the new arrivals, Paul slips in and takes a seat in the lobby.
It's
G-I-L-F-E-A-T-H-E-L. He's now in a good position to overhear the conversation between the Mark and the receptionist.
That's room number 16. Okay. Yes, and you want to park the car with us?
Having taken up the hotel's parking service, the Mark fills out the valet receipt. Only on presentation of this receipt will his car be returned. With check-in complete, the Marks are shown to their room.
Thank you. Enjoy the stay with us.
The valet parks the car, and Paul starts a waiting game. For this scam to work, he needs the receptionist to leave her post, but she's not budging. But time is on Paul's side. Eventually, it's the afternoon shift change. And when the receptionist's replacement turns up, they leave the desk to hand over the shift. This is Paul's chance. He quickly heads to the lobby and picks up a form from the front desk without anyone noticing. He's got himself a blank valet receipt. Now all he has to do is fill it out. Outside, he noted down the Mark's car registration, and in the lobby he overheard their name,
G-I-L-F-E-A-T-H-E-L,
and room number.
That's room number 16. Okay.
Once the form's complete, Paul heads to the front desk.
Excuse me, you're a valet?
Yes, we do. You want your car bringing out?
Yeah, I need to go now, please. As soon as possible.
Thank you.
I'll just be at the bar having a coffee, yeah?
Okay.
They cross-reference the details on Paul's receipt with the hotel computer. The new receptionist and valet weren't there when the car was dropped off, so they've no reason to doubt Paul. Satisfied everything's in order, the valet goes to collect the car and hands it over to Paul, who's more than happy to drive off with over £20,000 worth of someone else's property. 20 minutes later and the Marks return to the lobby. They come to collect their car.
Get the car keys, please.
Yep, that's good. We'll just take your set.
They've handed over their parking receipt,
Do you want to just take a seat in the back and I'll give you a shout when it's
but the valet spots a problem. He's just handed over the keys to that car to someone else.
This is the same car.
We've just had a gentleman bring that and someone else to the car. And that's exactly the same.
Is this the Audi TT?
Where's that going? What's going on? We've had a request from 2 different people with the same registration number. Do you want to just take a seat in the back? I'll give you a shout to save you standing around. Thank you.
With the marks out of the way, the receptionist is free to panic and gets the manager involved.
Has your guy took the car?
Yeah. I've been nicked.
But how's he got one of them now? Oh, Stephen.
The marks are getting restless and want to know where their car is.
So what we were given is this car, and that car's been taken. The car's been taken about 15 minutes ago.
They're completely gobsmacked and missing a 25 grand car.
I handed the receipt in the reception. The security boy looked at it. He looked a bit confused, and then he said, "Somebody's taken this car already."
I checked the computer. I saw the name, and he had the name of the guest and everything on the receipt. So I definitely don't know.
Do you know who's gone? So what can I do? There's nothing I can do.
Hotels are quite big places, and it's unreasonable to think that staff members should be able to name and recognise each of their guests. Now, Paul takes advantage of this and also uses a shift change in the valet department to get away with what he's doing.
The real weakness in this case was the card. We could get access to that very, very easily. If the hotel were simply to lock those cards up, make them a lot less easy to get a hold of, and also convey to the guests that that card is as good as the keys to their car. That way it makes it a lot more difficult for someone in this situation to get away with this kind of scam.
Be aware of what's going on around you. And remember, if it sounds too good to be true...
£500 for €200?
Then it probably is.
That one's fake, and those are empty.
For more information on the making of The Real Hustle, visit the BBC Three website.
Well, it's female-to-male transformation and the surgery and psychology involved. It's Danny escaping my female body up next on BBC Three.